Good morning, everyone. We'll see how this goes. It's been a while since I streamed, and OBS is giving me some troubles this morning. As you may have noticed from the comment, we are primarily doing this to capture Anthem content. So the camera's going to be off for most of the stream because I couldn't figure out how to get two copies of OBS to work at the same time and let me capture double footage. How's the audio balance? I'm going to start switching things over. I turned the game down quite a bit, but maybe not enough. Hello. Good morning. If I suddenly run away in the middle of this, it's probably because my hard drive filled up with Anthem footage. We're working on it. We're working on the Anthem retrospective. It's long. Oh, a little bit lower. Okay, I'll turn it down. Yeah, it sounds... you know what I'll do is rather than doing it in-game, I will do it. I'll do that. It's been 5 years since I played this game. Yeah, and it's actually probably been about 5 years since I played a shooter with a controller, so this could also be pretty bad. Okay, well, we're not gonna hang around here forever, so let me make sure that it's actually recording, and we'll get started. I'll try to monitor the chat as we go as well. EA has a lot of trouble with things it perceives as failures. But that being said, also it has trouble with allowing studios to hire people, and definitely Dragon Age and Anthem were in... Dragon Age and Anthem Live were definitely in competition for the same people.
We live in a dangerous world. The gods who built it vanished, leaving behind their instruments that aimlessly reshape the land. These ancient relics harness an unknowable force we call the Anthem of Creation. But the Anthem refuses to be controlled. To survive, our ancestors invented the javelins and built cities with great walls. Today, it falls to a dedicated group of heroes to face the chaos, protect our homes, and fight for our very survival. We are freelancers. We leap head-on into danger, rescuing the lost, keeping the monsters at bay, and silencing the Anthem's terrible cataclysms. But not all cataclysms are created equal. And even freelancers are wary of the untamed power of the Anthem.
This is it. Closest we get with the Striders.
Agreed. Looks like we fly from here. Alec, hear that?
Yeah, I wasn't working with Christian on the Anthem Next stuff at all. They pretty much were done. They pulled everyone off pretty much before I left BioWare in the first place.
Let's go, freelancers. Suit up!
How crazy will this get?
No idea. Never tried to shut down a cataclysm this big.
Oh, steady, Faye. None of us come out of this alive without our cipher.
Stay safe out there. Remember, we're a team. I'm right there with you.
Okay, freelancer. You might be new, but you won't be here if you didn't show promise.
Hey, Halleck, what's up? Waiting for it to die down out there? Let's go!
Thought you could use a head start.
See you at the cenotaph. We're heading out.
Okay, everyone. Let's stop this cataclysm from growing. From killing everything.
I don't know, Halleck. Haven't seen anything like this before.
Look, everyone. I won't be here if I thought this storm could beat me, right? The Rage is no different than the hundreds of other Shaper ruins we've dealt with. It's just bigger. This is what we do. So we're gonna go in there and we're gonna take on whatever unholy beast it spits at us, and we're going to tame that thing. Together.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Ready, Javelin 1?
Ooh, ready. Strong along, stronger together.
Storm gets worse ahead. Trying to find a calm pocket for you. Steady, Miller. Your heart rate is too high. Hello. Check in, please.
A little busy, Faye. No worries on me. That one.
Team, our rookies handled with a Bible.
I don't know that I have a great answer, Alex, for that question. To a large degree, I was being brought in to launch the game more than anything.
Survived, but your Javelin needs a restart. I'll bring systems back one at a time. Starting voice recognition.
Ray? Ray, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. That was a bad fall. How's your head? You remember the mission?
Think so. Where am I?
You're in a cataclysm, terrible storm, called the Heart of Rage. You need to get to the center and shut it down by silencing the cenotaph.
Got it.
Your suit is still critical. Grab a repair pack when you can. You've got a bit of a climb to catch up. Halleck?
Yep.
He's up and heading your way.
How's it going back there? What's your ETA?
Don't know. Faye?
Not too far, just... Oh, no, sorry. Can't talk. Be right back.
What's going on?
Good. Now you have partial boosters at least. Team, the cyber-
I have to say that I do think Anthem has one of Bioware's better openings, better tutorial region. It's not. I guess it has a little bit heavy lifting, a little bit less heavy lifting to do in terms of setting. It's, you know, there's a big scary storm.
I've got debris blocking my path.
Part of the Dominion Strider. And when they attack the city, those fuel canisters-
Technically there was a person in charge of the project, but effectively, yes, it was run by committee. That was. Oh.
Team, update. This is not going well. Many casualties.
Oh.
Freelancers down. Cyphers in comas.
Comas?
From hearing the anthem.
How are you doing, Faye? Are you okay?
far, but I can hear it too.
Don't remember how to play.
No flight boosters yet.
Hey, Miller. Found your Titan.
This cataclysm is creating them by the handful.
Faye, you still there?
Yes, you've got down freelancers ahead, sending distress signals. They're the ones from Strider 2. Their javelins need repair. Get them moving. There's 3 altogether. They're on short distance radio.
Okay.
Since I'm not connected to them, I might not be able to guide you.
Oh, right. Don't stand in the lava.
I got you, freelancer. Gonna try.
I lost contact with my cipher.
I think that the I would argue that the Anthem is a looter shooter, and in certain genres, fun or good or not great isn't enough. So I think when you're comparing it to Destiny, to the Division, it just there it is. It's just not quite there in a couple of ways, and in some genres that's just gonna be death knell.
Tight.
Thanks, brother.
All right.
Cypher's in a coma. I took care of all 3 freelancers. What next?
Push on and join your team.
Along. Which way? I've got a Titan on the bridge above.
Leave it. We've got one up here too.
They're all over the place.
I'll need to go around. Which way, Faye? Hey! Never mind. Titan here just blasted the wall out. Gave me a shortcut.
We really need your help.
Gotcha! On my way! How close am I, Faye?
Faye, Darrah, get her out to his left.
Uh-oh.
The Anthem. It wants to show me. To show me.
Faye, snap out of it. What do you got for us?
Oh, sorry. The whole team from Strider 3 is gone.
Miller, pull back. See if we can flank it.
Strider 4 team is in retreat. If they make it, mission seems doomed.
How far back? Damn, I'm freaking out. Then get out of the way. I'll do it.
Hurry up. Where are you?
Try
remember this opening now.
I can hear the anthem of creation.
Hey! Are we supposed to fall back? We're fine. We push on. Right, team? I'm in. I'm in. Rookie, there you are. Get in here. Base calling a retreat. We got this.
Almost there.
Team, you need to retreat.
Yeah, it's still up. I know, it's amazing, right? The game's still up. It's been 5 years.
Sorry.
This thing is going down. Come on.
Austin did a lot of work after launch to bring the server costs down. I don't know by how much, but by a lot. So they're able to keep the servers up after all these time. I assume that some of the language coming out of EA about Dragon Age and if it had been a live service and yada 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 actually comes from the fact that this thing is still up after 5 years. Yeah, the story isn't amazing. It's recognizably a BioWare story, but it's definitely got some seams in it.
To get out of here. No. We push on. We're the only ones left. Think about Miller and Adair. All the others. You being a coward. I'm no coward. No? You want to push forward until I get killed. Until we both get killed. Where'd that come from? Go. Babe, we're coming back. No. It beat us, Halleck. We need to regroup. It can't beat us. Rookie, don't you dare pull me out of here.
During the failed attempt to silence the Heart of Rage, we lost more than freelancers, more than friends and comrades. We lost the faith of the people we protect. So the freelancers scattered, searching for
Alright.
ways to redeem themselves.
I think Anthem and Mass Effect servers will stay up as long as they're making money. Last I had access to data, Mass Effect was still making thousands of dollars a month.
Freelancers, heroes.
I don't know if it was. There was work underway on story for Anthem, so I don't remember what the leak said. Yeah, they'll turn it off at some point if they feel like it's costing them too much money to keep it up.
Impressive entrance as usual. Nice to be appreciated.
Don't sell yourself short, mate. Cypher couldn't ask for any better partner.
You could ask, but not many of us left.
The relay's a short flight away.
Easy contract so far.
Easy keeps you alive.
Wouldn't call this living. Inspecting sensors every month.
Yeah, pays the bills.
Not exactly the freelancer motto.
Yeah, well, until the freelancers are back on their feet, we can enjoy all the gorgeous scenery Bastion has to offer.
Flying around is even better.
Now I'm jealous, sitting here in the fort.
Flying, I really love flying
There's
in this
the relay.
game.
Just needs a hard reset. This should get the early warning network back up. Good, that did it. You'll need to manually check the sensors now. First one's nearby. Oh, maybe grab some supplies before you go.
Might come in handy.
Jungle's full of useful stuff.
Yeah, you can, as long as we stay civilized, you can talk about whatever you want.
Oh, there's the first sensor. I need you to access it.
Huh. I don't remember there being this many crafting materials in the opening.
Stick close so I can get a reading on the shaper energy. Hang on. I'm detecting movement. Looks like scorpions.
Scorpions are riled up.
Well, aren't they? Probably haven't tasted fresh freelancer in a while.
Won't be today.
Haha! Convince them. Hang in there. I'm still waiting for a reading.
Man, I'm a bad shot.
Owen! Almost got it. Alright, readings coming through.
What?
It's mostly normal.
Mostly? This is the early warning system. If it's detecting something...
Yeah, no sign of shaper energy. Head to the next sensor.
The big thing about a live service, especially a looter shooter, is the or one of the big things is that you need the economy to work at a much higher level than you would need it to work at in a single player RPG. And also you have to remember that
You want to call your suit?
you also have to remember that the community is going to eat your content at effectively an infinite speed. So you have to have a lot more content than you expected, which is a big problem that this game had at launch. It just didn't have enough. Yeah, basically the consoles, both the Xbox and the PlayStation at this point are basically PCs. The PS3 was like PS1, 2, and 3 are really weird architecture. So they require a lot of very special dev support. Whereas by the time we get to the PS4, they're basically PCs.
Check it out for me, will you? Wait there while I get a reading.
No sign of scorpions, at least. They're aggressive today.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game that fell in and out of love with flying several times. The levels are built nice and vertically, but the combat took a long time to figure out how to do
Got a reading. Not good. Possible shaper energy detected.
how to do combat when you have the ability to fly.
Might have had the right idea.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Some iconic views in this game.
Oh, and how bad could this get?
You were in the heart of break, weren't you?
Don't even think it.
See these ruins? There's a theory a shaper relic flipped gravity for a day.
Uh-huh. Well, not on my watch.
Oops. I don't know if people remember this, but it was the PS3 that emulated PS2 by having a PS2 on a chip.
Last sensors nearby.
With wyverns circling.
I see them. Fire breathers. Still need to get a reading.
Whoop.
Hang in there. Your javelin can take some heat. Mostly.
And when it can't,
You'll know it.
Where are you?
Heads up, more Wyvern are on you.
Everything's in a bad mood today.
This could be their nesting area.
How's it fair that these things fly and breathe fire?
Spawn of some nasty shaper relic.
Yeah, it's Happy Canada Day for everyone in Canada.
Shapers had all sorts of tricks up their sleeves, but you do too. Use your whole arsenal.
Oh, right, dodge.
Persistent, I'll give them that.
Poke a Wyvern and one of you will end up dead. Or barbecue.
Where are you? I'm playing with a controller. I'm in for a couple of reasons. I'm a bit more comfortable with it, but also it doesn't clack as much when you're listening to me.
Unstable relic in the area. The bad one. I've got a probable location.
On it.
I'm playing with a Logitech controller of questionable quality, however. I'm on a PC. Yes, what I would say is, if you're concerned about the quality of the controls, it's not the controls; it's the meat part of that equation.
Watertight seals are holding. Shall I call in more freelancers?
No time. We can't risk this getting worse.
The reality is that the team didn't really have a lot more left in it for post-production. I mean, sorry, for at the end of production. It definitely could have done with a decent,
We're on the right track.
Looks like an
done with it,
we need to open.
I've dealt with these.
done with a decent beta. That would have helped a lot.
Your javelin can hold 3 at a time.
Oh, right. Okay. I remembered less of this game than I...
That's it. A fragment of Anthem energy gone astray. You're getting the hang of it. You'll need more.
Got one.
Your suit can only hold 3 at a time. Take these over to the door. It's working, but you'd have to ask an Arcanist why. You'll need more echoes.
There's one. I almost remember this.
Found another one.
Oh, there it is.
That should be enough. Let's see if the door opens. Aha! That did it. We're in.
Okay, 1 second. I'm going to just... I don't know if I ran out of space, but I'm just got to quickly check to see what's going on. OBS threw an error at some point. Is it because I'm out of space? Nope. Okay. Well, I'm going to just start the recording again. That's not helpful. Encoder error, invalid parameter. What in the world does that mean? I mean, that is unfortunately... my feeling is that that the issue with Anthem, one of the biggest issues from a gameplay perspective, is just a lack of activities. So there's stand in the circle while things attack you and gather 3 things, or gather 5 things. You can only carry 3. Unfortunately, the recording has stopped working. I'm gonna try. How can I? What can I do? Ugh. All right. Well, that's annoying. I might end up having to pull the footage off of YouTube. Yeah, that's, I think, what we might end up having doing. Let me just see quickly if I can turn off the little subscribe button. How would I do that? Stand by. Okay, let's see. I don't actually remember where that is. Comment, sort by, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. That's fine. We'll just live with it. Oh, is that right? Okay, thank you. Then that's what we'll do. Okay. It's not cooking it into the video. Well, that's great. Then that's what we'll do, because I don't know, YouTube ate itself.
Even for a shaper ruin. What's it for? Raise a mountain, carve out an ocean, spawn some new monstrosity?
There has to be some reason for it all.
It's the riddle of our world. And this one's waking up. I detect intense energy deeper in.
Someone else made it down here. Though it doesn't look like they made it back out. What's all this?
Got me. Hey,
Oh, right.
this ruin's never been mapped.
How do I dodge? I forget. Ah.
Careful! Too much of that, you'll overload.
Whoops.
Damn! Javelin overloaded. Hang on. I'll reset.
Yeah, it never really was discussed to do a full-on multiplayer-only Mass Effect. I'm a bit surprised that conversation didn't happen, given the conversations that happened with Dragon Age, and with Anthem. Ugh, I'd forgotten this part. Oof! Ah! Alright. This isn't actually hard, for anyone who's thinking I'm just being terrible at the moment. I don't even think I need to dodge. I just need to fly like I remember. Well, good enough.
Yikes!
Reset, hang on. Oh, good. It's just water.
Owen!
Controls restored. You're back. That's the relic up there. Big one too. You'll need to silence it.
Where do I start?
Some echoes have shaken loose. Find them and get them back in place.
Come on.
You know the drill. You'll need more.
Oh, that's true. There was meta.
It's working. Keep the echoes coming and we'll collapse the energy pockets.
What's the relic doing?
I can't tell, but the energy pocket's getting bigger. Something's forming in there.
What is it?
I mean, anything is possible. Look at the waterfalls. They're going backwards.
Where was that pointing?
Just think. The Anthem's being harnessed in there. Pure creation. Something totally new forming.
New and dangerous.
Lay that on the shaders. It's still amazing.
It's got a lot colder.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. It's drawing energy to form a cataclysm.
One of the games that was most influential for me was Dark Cloud 2 by Level 5. Oops, missed it.
There, last echo.
You did it. That should silence it.
The issue with the I think the levels are nice. I think there's a lack of activities.
Starting.
I think that the other issue is that, you know, when you have
Owen, talk to me.
Yes, I'm trying to work it out. Shaper energy's still increasing. These are just a warm-up, a prelude to a cataclysm.
Doesn't feel like a warm-up.
I told you anything's possible. You gotta power through it, mate, or else it's gonna get a whole lot worse.
the other issue is when you're flying, when you have flight, it does change level design a lot, and the game doesn't completely take that into account. Oops.
I'm clear, Owen.
Good. I think we can still stop this. Those fragments of the relic that blew out, grab them and put them back together. Oh, and fun wrinkle, more companies on the way. Go. Now carry it over and put it in place.
Fragments in.
Now the others. Keep at it and you'll survive this. Almost certainly.
Oops.
Stay nimble. Move around.
Yeah, dodge. I was frozen.
Owen, something in there is growling.
Something biological. That's all I can say for sure.
What's happening in there?
There's something. Has teeth. Lots of them. Hurry!
Oof.
Remember, you're faster than them.
How many teeth?
Size is the real problem.
What's that mean?
Large! Considerable! Just get a move on! no idea where he went, which isn't as lucky as the freelancer whose guts were turned inside out.
How's that lucky?
At least he died and got it over with.
This is a pain.
They all are. Indecipherable puzzles that only make sense to shapers.
No, I mean there's ice jamming it up.
We're out of time. Silence it.
I'm trying to.
Well, nobody told him. It's an R6.
It's not working.
I'll put it back into it.
Got it.
Well, at least now I've got a new story. That time a relic spawned a giant R6 that almost ate you whole.
Yeah. Classic for the ages. I'd say that fulfills the
Stream Deck does actually sell foot pedals, so you could
Time to get back to full
map
tasks.
things to your
Great job. Well done.
feet.
The only kind there is. I'm on my way.
So what's that? We are. Where's the timer? About an hour. Yeah, that's a pretty good intro. You can theoretically play the game alone. I'm going to try, because you can go through the. Yeah, you can play the whole story. You can't really. You have to do a little dodging around the black patterns trying to get you to play with the party, but. I mean, there was a plan of sorts. I mean, if it had been successful, if it had been making money, it would still be getting active content now. Yeah, we were supposed to be doing crossplay. I don't remember why it didn't happen. Probably cert things. This, yes, the most hilarious of character creations. You pick an appearance and you it doesn't really show up ever again. Do I get a virtual keyboard? No. All right. Oh yeah, that's right.
Here we are, back in Fort Tarsus, the last stop on the Bastion frontier.
If it isn't my favorite freelancer. I hear you've been busy.
Ah, you know how it is, Zoe. Another day, another disaster averted.
What have you done this time?
Nothing. My armor's fine. Probably. I hope.
Welcome home. You should swing by my amplifier in the Enclave.
Something wrong?
No, not wrong. More like fun. Drop on by whenever.
Look who's back in one piece.
Zoe, did you expect me in more pieces than one?
You? Never. I trust you've brought me work. Always good to give your javelin the once-over after a run. What have you done this time?
Nothing you can't fix.
Flattery, huh? You must have done a number out there.
Nothing too crazy.
Are we using your skill for crazy or mine? Scars, beasts, relic-based nonsense. Some people stay on this side of the wall. Others, well, since you love running into that kind of stuff, you better be careful.
The job's got its risks, but keep my eyes open.
That's what I like to hear. I'll run you some maintenance checks. Only the best for my favorite freelancer.
I bet everyone's your favorite.
I have a complex ranking system, and you have better places to be. Go on then.
Never really took full advantage of this space. It's a really nice space. Yeah, it's still a good looking game. And I'm running in a window, so you could make it look better than this. Velvet rope.
I'm looking forward to the freelancer racing. Welcome to my store. Browse away.
Oh, this must have been.
Did she make it back?
Barely. Scars hit pretty bad.
They've taken that route before.
Since when does that matter? You get comfortable out there, you stay out there, permanently.
But she's okay.
Yeah, suit's being looked at. The Sentinels will give you time to rest up.
If there's anything either of you need.
Yeah, I know. Thanks.
I might argue that one of the reasons why the levels look so good in Anthem is that, for the most part, the spaces were built by level design. Were built by level art, with no compromises made for level design at all. In large part because, a lot of the combat is just kind of whatever happens. So the end result is the space, the architecture wins. But it doesn't necessarily make the most playable spaces, but you're not really doing anything in Fort Tarsis. Oh, Jarl, I forgot him.
Good, good. Got to show people why we're here.
A few more contracts on the board would help with that.
No need to tell me. So little trust. And even our own, they forget. How many read the wall?
You know how it is.
Yes, yes. Look, you come back with something to brag about, all right?
Damn straight.
Yeah, you see what I mean? You picked up on that, right? Little warble? It's warbling, right?
All readings fall within acceptable tolerances.
You gotta look past the numbers for once in your life. Something is off. The connection is a bit fuzzy.
How do you quantify fuzzy?
You don't quantify fuzzy. You don't measure it. You don't count it. It's nothing like that. It's a feeling.
Everything okay here, on?
Yeah, well, on your last mission, I noticed that the cipher chair was giving off some very strange feedback.
All readings fall within acceptable tolerances.
You know, it's your call, but if you ignore it and something goes wrong...
I will find an arcanist and perform a full protocol inspection on this unit.
There's nothing wrong with the chair, is there?
No.
Why are you always stirring up trouble?
What are you talking about? I've just done her a massive favor. You've got no idea how boring it is being a Fort Cipher. She does not get to work with the freelancer. She does not get to see the world through the eyes of a javelin pilot. No, 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 no. You know what she gets to do? She gets to relay official messages back and forth to ciphers at the capital day after day after day.
Some people like boring. Not everyone's cut out to be a freelancer.
So you have said. But you have to admit that last mission would have gone better with a partner.
I have a partner. You. Every good javelin pilot needs a cipher.
That is not what I meant. Look, if I had a suit of my own, I could be out there in the field with you.
Call down your boosters, Hotshot. With more training, you'll get your chance, I promise.
Fine. Not like we could afford a spare suit anyway. The job board is empty.
We'll figure something out. We always do.
Yeah.
So the idea...
Missing out on the glory days. Back when freelancers were treated like
Owen
heroes.
stop talking.
Contracts would just fall into their laps. Everywhere they went, they were given respect. And free sandwiches.
Free sandwiches?
Yeah, I haven't had my lunch yet. I'm starving. We're on a tight budget here.
Budget has room for sandwiches.
You're probably right. You know what? Why don't you head over to the forge, get your javelin tuned up, so we're ready to roll if a contract does fall into our laps.
So the thinking with Mass Effect versus Anthem, and you can believe this or not, I'm not sure I completely believe it, is Mass Effect is science fiction, so it's very focused on, very technology focused, whereas Anthem is science fantasy, so it's much more like Star Wars versus Star Trek was the idea. And they are different for sure. I mean, while Anthem has a very clear look, a very clear visual style, it doesn't make a ton of sense. Like, does a world with no wheels work? Obviously, there are wheels because you see them inside of things. So, I don't think they cannibalized each other simply because of the time between the games, but the thinking was that the two things were independent of each other and could coexist. Whether that's true or not, I guess we won't ever really know, because by the time the next Mass Effect comes out, this game will be 8-9 years old, so we won't really be clear. But that's the thinking. I mean, I have to say, by being first person, like, this is a tighter space than we've ever tried to do in any game before or since.
Owen, you need something?
What are you talking about? I just got a message from you saying to meet you at the forge.
I didn't send any. Why would I want to meet up here? Something's not right.
We need you to speak in private. My name is Tassa.
Do you always travel with security escorts?
Not always. Sentinels have their uses.
Well, you make a hell of an entrance, I'll give you that.
I have a contract for you, freelancer.
I like to know who I'm working for before I take a job.
Really? From what I hear, two of you will take about any job you can get these days.
What's the job?
An Arcanist has gone missing.
Missing? I thought Arcanists just hung out in labs studying Shaker relics.
Matthias Sumner was investigating some relics at a ruin near the fort. I need you to find him and bring him back home safe.
He's still alive.
No one knows more about the dangers of Shaper artifacts. I'm confident that knowledge and his own resourcefulness will keep him alive until you find him. What do you say, freelancer? Make it worth your while.
Owen? Looks like the freelancer's right again. Well, us anyway.
Excuse me, I just got to... That is excellent. I'll go and run my diagnostics. Let me know when you're ready to leave. It was a pleasure.
There isn't really... The funding environment isn't in a position right now for a for that kind of studio to really come into being.
Thank you for doing this.
But you never know.
Okay, and if I have...
Fine, Matthias. Trust me. I'm a person you want to know.
The hilarious thing about that animation is it's probably been recreated 60 times. So it's almost like it's built into the DNA. I think we should probably stick with a ranger. I'm not sure I trust myself in anything else. Yeah, like that. Like Mike was able to put something together, but if you look, like Mac and Casey's studio lost their funding. So there are BioWare remnants out there having an influence on the on games for sure.
Let's get started.
Oh, I need to get level 3. Okay. Yeah. Turtle Strands was Mike. But they've been around a little bit longer. Let's just... That just straight up better? I think so. I think Beamdog did I did a good job with the resources they had available. I think they are struggling to get the resources to do something new. They want to, and I'm not sure that getting bought by Aspire, which is owned by what's it called, the Swedish holding company, is going to be good for them in the long run. But yeah, Beamdog's ex-Bioware, even earlier. That's much earlier. Embracer, thank you. Okay. So now we can go out. Let's do it. Don't want to change the mission. Oh, whoops. That's not what I meant to do. Didn't mean to get out of the suit. Private. Oops. Okay. Yeah. So here's my bit of dark pattern that you can blame on me. This pop-up is definitely trying to get you to set it to public because they're trying to get the servers to be filled. But I'm gonna go ahead and say nope. It's not that dark patterny, but yeah, Embracer. I'm pretty sure Embracer's entire business model was acquire a bunch of stuff and then get bought by someone who wanted to pick up a bunch of IP, and it didn't really work, and now they're struggling to keep stuff afloat. They shut down a bunch of stuff. They're probably going to start selling off IPs in a couple of years.
Here we are, freelancer. You ready to jump in?
Yes, I am.
Well then, let's not keep that big bad world waiting.
Isn't he
Our
over here?
contract is to locate an Arcanist named Matthias. Tassin has given us the last location where he made contact.
Oh, okay. Maybe not. EA doesn't sell things off. EA is a company that works on fear of being blamed for things. So the person who sold Anthem off and then Anthem got turned into $1 billion franchise would be in trouble.
Otherwise, no, nothing but the radio. And no Matthias. Oh, hang on. Detecting another radio. Same frequency.
Must be more than one camp. Let's follow that signal.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I Before Mass Effect Legendary Edition came out, I would have said there was no way Dragon Age was ever getting a remaster. But that did pretty well. Dragon Age is harder than Mass Effect, for sure. But maybe. Honestly, I think Anthem actually probably is net profitable. That would be my guess. It probably paid for itself and then some. Eventually. It's been 5 years. Servers are still up. Yeah, you know, when you get a list of all the IPs that EA controls, it's a long list. And things that you've heard of and things you haven't heard of, and it goes back a long way. And lots of those are just dead IPs at this point.
Okay, I've got a new trail. We'll need to get to the location I've marked for better reception.
Anything else I should know?
Besides that Arcanists get themselves in trouble by being out here.
About Matthias?
Brilliant and reckless. He has a reputation among the Arcanists. Not a good one.
Having a bad reputation is chapter 1 of the Freelancer's Handbook.
No, EA's looking for a significant return on investment, but I don't know for sure. But I would think that Anthem is positive.
Clearly, Matthias established more than one camp. No.
Arcanist?
Yes.
Matthias?
No, he's not here. Look for anything that can help track him down.
I mean, one of the biggest problems, until very recently, one of the biggest problems that EA's had is that with FIFA Ultimate Team, FIFA makes its ROI is insane. So almost everything else is dilutive to that, and that's so it's hard to convince yourself that you should do anything else. And they know they should want to do other things, but it's hard to convince yourself that you actually should. Everything needs to be as good as FIFA, and nothing is as good as FIFA. Where is it? What am I looking for? I don't remember. CD Projekt's had its own struggles with finances, and Larian basically had to sell part of its company off to a Chinese investment firm. So they're not immune to it. They've just do not remember what. I don't know if that's true or not, but certainly they. is the thing I'm looking for. I do not remember this.
That's where the signal is coming from. We can use it to help search for another camp. It'll take time.
Okay, get started.
Oh, this thing. Alright.
Seems quiet out here.
Maybe.
Ugh.
What the hell? An ambush! It's the Scars, damn scavengers! Multiple signals, they are everywhere!
Are you done with the radio?
No, still working on it. Destroy any hives that pop up, that can cut off reinforcements.
Hives need more scars. Got it.
Wait, is this a hive? Yeah, right.
Clear out those remaining scars.
Radio signal.
Still working on it.
Yeah, I don't know what would have happened if we'd merged with Valve back in the what 2000, whatever that was. That would have been
Just fiddling with the radio
bizarre.
signal for the next location.
I understand. Just hurry up.
Of course, lots at stake, I know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think they took any of this technology, but they can take some of the flight design at least. Whoops, missed.
Make sure you destroy any hives you see.
Oof, almost dead. Yeah, don't stop it.
Need some help?
Oh, I died.
We have to get on those scar hives, quickly!
Well, yeah, that's fair. fair. I mean, they basically are. You need a humanoid. You need a humanoid enemy. I think you need less in Anthem than you do in other IPs, but you basically need goblins slash.
The only way to stop the scars is to destroy their hives.
Oh, there.
That's the last of those horrible things. Now finish off the remaining scars.
Get my shields back.
Finally. And done.
Only died once.
Scars have attacked my camp. Need immediate assistance.
Matthias, where are you?
He didn't hear you. But I think I found another camp.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, there might be. Especially if you're a storm.
Hear anything else out of Matthias?
Nothing. Just lost the radio signal. We need signal booster. Wait! Found one. Got a bunch of scars. I've never seen this this much scar activity. What is going on?
I don't know, but it's not a good sign.
More scars incoming. Looks like they're using gates. I hate those. Very unfair.
Oops.
Okay, I'm looking for a signal booster, right?
Yes, should be close. All you need to do is turn it on.
It's almost that. Like, it's almost got a Bioware story. It's almost got followers. I don't remember Owen's voice actor, but he is somebody.
Signal booster is working.
Manning up the stairs, hoping to find refuge. Scars in pursuit.
Matthias? He still can't hear us.
I've got a location.
So the big things you'd have to do if you wanted to make this into a single-player game is you would have to, if you wanted to make it into a single-player RPG, you would need to have AI-controlled javelins. That would be basically the big thing. If you had AI-controlled javelins that could follow you and move through the space and have banter, then you basically have all the parts you need to make an RPG. You could even leave the multiplayer going. Just let me take AI companions along with me. You would need some storytelling abilities out in the world out here, because you can't at the moment, but it's... Now, AI followers with flying, not trivial. EA doesn't sell IPs. Yeah, EA doesn't sell IPs. No one's going to buy it because EA's not going to sell it.
I'm not seeing our Arcanist. Owen, help me out.
He's not here. Wait, that's the radio we were following. The scars were taking it apart. We fixed that. I bet we reached Matthias. What's happening with the scars? Something has them enraged. That seems to be the last of the scars. Let's fix that radio.
What needs to happen?
Get me into the access panel, I'll do the rest.
Okay, done.
Starting repairs.
doesn't look like a repair.
Would you just let me? Oh, damn it! Hang on, we've got company.
Can it be fixed?
Yes, of course. Just deal with the scars. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, so, you know, it's a stay in place, kill the things activity. Oh dear.
This looks serious.
Very serious. Focus on the big guy. Watch out for the flamethrower.
Oops.
You go around him. Around the back. He's weaker there.
This fucking guy. Oh no, 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 no. Yes, yes, where is health? I need health. I am bad at this game. Who's that guy? Never liked guys with big giant shields as an enemy design.
Oh, the gates are closing. Looks like we scared them off. Let's take care of the rest and get back to the radio. Okay, I think I got it. Are you sure? Mostly sure.
Oof. The servers are still online. Servers are still online. It's not broken, it's running well.
It's working. I've got a location. Patching my thighs through.
Still up enough that people are... The servers are still up. EA would definitely not leave the servers up if it wasn't still pulling money in.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank goodness. There's no time. I'm hiding, but the scars are searching.
I don't think BioWare is ever going to revisit this franchise, no.
Just hang on. We're coming.
Matthias managed all these stairs to get up here with an army of scars at your heels. Great things are possible, I guess.
Oops. Oh, it was just lightning. It stood still too long.
Matthias, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm getting a read on his radio signal.
Are you okay?
A little banged up, but fine. You see that ramp up ahead? The one with the statue? Head up there.
What about the scars near you? See anything?
A few spots of trouble. Near misses. They're quite relentless.
I don't know. I don't know what it's how there is to make money, but if it was just if the servers were just draining, it would be shut off by now.
Wait, what's this? I found some canisters. Could prove useful.
Don't try anything dangerous.
Not to worry. It'll be a contained explosion.
I think you better hurry.
Got a swarm here.
Less for Matthias to deal with. taken care of. And let's see to those scars.
You got it. Give me an update.
I think I see them. Just a minute. I'm okay. Haven't been this far into the ruins.
Just stay ahead of them. I'm nearly there.
The argument for server, the reason why this game is server based instead of peer to peer is there are a couple of reasons. If you're making peer to peer, you have to run the game logic on the individual machines, so it's going to have an impact. One of the reasons the game looks as good as it does is it's offloaded a lot of its gameplay onto the servers. The other thing is it's a lot easier to update the gameplay because you have direct access to the servers. You don't need to go through cert on the consoles. You can just make changes on the fly. You can make updates multiple times a day.
Matthias, I'm in the tunnel.
You're close. Main chamber just ahead. It's incredible.
Just finish this mission. This might be a good place to stop for the day.
Seeing some damage. Matthias has been busy.
Last hurrah. I'm out of surprises, freelancer.
Stay put. I'll keep them off you.
Much appreciated.
It was pushed out as about as late as it could be. Team was pretty much done. Like it should have. So the only way, other than like some massive changes, the only way you get a massively better outcome with this game is by having it launch into beta, basically when it launched, and then have it sit in beta for a year. But EA didn't think that way at the time, so there wasn't really any way that could have happened.
Where are they all coming from? Scars have too many ways to add to their numbers if needed.
But yeah, if it was peer-to-peer, you wouldn't really have to worry about the servers going down. I mean, there'd still be some monetization servers, but I think if you were to try to do a single-player remaster, what you would do, because you could, I mean, the game looks good. You could run the servers on a current-gen console. You could run the server on the. You could run a local server. That was working code up until only a few months before launch. So you could just do that, let the visuals.
Make them so mad, Matthias.
I don't know. Never seen them like this.
F.
close quarters. Careful.
Oh no, another one of these guys. Where's that guy? Can I ultimate him? Did he just block all that? Yeah. Whoops.
Look out! I don't know what it is, but it looks dangerous.
Rust Reaver. Thing's name is Rust Reaver.
I don't
I didn't need another thing.
monitoring. You should check on Matthias.
I think there is a spawn point. I think that rift was spawning them as long as the 2 enforcers were alive. But they're there partially to provide health and stuff. I'm just bad at managing the crowd.
Matthias? Here, right here. These scars. I don't know what to think. Arcanists and scars often clash over Shaper sites, but nothing like this. I must tell Tassin. Please, I need to return to Fort Tarsus.
Yeah, you know, No Man's Sky is a weird one because it's like, you know, it's the indie game with the AAA attention. It's rare for... You see it in mobile, where games launch and then very slowly build themselves up. I think No Man's Sky kind of, in a way, looks more like that than it does like a AAA launch. It launched, it had attention, but it hadn't spent millions and millions of dollars of marketing. So it hadn't burned out all of its attention. And I think to some degree it was able to build it up after the fact. That's what mobile games typically do, right? They launch with almost no marketing. They build based upon the way that people play, and then they build themselves up over sometimes years. So I think it can be done, but if you launch like a AAA game and you spend $50 million of marketing at your launch, you've gotten all that attention. It's hard to regenerate that attention, at least not without doing an entire additional marketing campaign, which is pretty hard to justify on a game that had trouble at launch. Yeah, I mean, the shield enemy would be so much easier with the second person. Yeah. I think we had respawns. There were respawns. The final mission of Origins has respawns, doesn't it? I think. Until you shoot the... It keeps spawning Darkspawn until you kill the Archdemon, I think. Alright, well, I want to go to Fort Tarsus. Okay, that's probably... See, I'll probably just stop the game and switch back to my camera in a second here. Because we're not getting a mission right now, are we? No. Okay, so I want to... nope. I want to... Nope. Oh, maybe I can't just quit out yet. How do you quit the game? Oh, is it settings? Oh yeah, there we go. Well, thank you for joining. I know that I wasn't super on the ball with questions today because it's a bit more intense than the games that I'm usually playing. Yes, I think you I don't remember when you unlock the hangar But you do unlock it pretty early. But I mean, I'm still effectively in the prologue. Yeah, no, because I mean, effectively the rifts in Dragon Age Inquisition are respawns, right? They keep respawning until you close the rift. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, you can play it solo. You can play through the entire critical path and all the side missions and stuff. You can go out by yourself and play it single player. It's just, as you could tell, I'm not very. I mean, if you're decent at third-person shooters, you could get through the missions a lot more easily than I am. Yeah, maybe they are predefined waves, but they don't run out, do they? I don't think you can just... Can you outlast a rift? You can. Oh, okay. I didn't remember that. Yeah. So I mean, it has difficulty settings. I think I don't know that it goes any easier than when I was playing it at. I think that BioWare going forward, they're going to do Mass Effect. I think there's a non-zero chance that BioWare is now the Mass Effect studio. If they do Mass Effect 5 and it's successful, there's no one really there that's going to push to make another Dragon Age. I don't think. It's mostly Mass Effect, old school Mass Effect leadership. So it might just be Mass Effect forever. There are some, within EA, there are some advantages to that. I think one of the problems that happened with Anthem is because there were other BioWare places for people to go, EA's general dislike of failure pushed them to push BioWare to pull people off and put them onto Dragon Age. Also, Dragon Age wanted them, so there was a pull as well. Whereas if you look at something like DICE, when Battlefield 4 launched, it was a bit of a disaster at launch, but there wasn't anywhere for people to go. You had to take them. You would have had to take them out of DICE completely, and so they got to work on it and fix it and clean it up and keep going. So there's something to be said for there being only one option. So I think that BioWare for the foreseeable future will be one project at a time. Now, EA these days is much more willing to move people within the organization as a whole. Like, there are BioWare people working on Skate, there are BioWare people working on Battlefield, there are BioWare people working on Iron Man, and some of them have transferred permanently, but I think there are still loners. And so that might change that calculus, but in the past, there were certainly advantages to just being one thing. I think that to your question about can they do BioWare games, I think they can do BioWare games. We'll see what happens. The reality is that Mass Effect is really early now, and so it's got to figure out what the game is, and then it's going to have to ask for more people. So the question is going to be, EA's starved some studios to death. Weirdly, EA seems reluctant to just shut studios down, but it seems willing to starve projects to death. So when Mass Effect goes looking to become 150, 200 people, what's going to happen? Are they going to get those people? Are they going to get loans? Are they going to get no one? That's going to really decide what BioWare is going to be in the future. They had Battlefront. Battlefront was never as popular as Battlefield. I do think they should do a Battlefront, but yeah. there aren't enough people left the number of people left in BioWare Edmonton right now are not enough to make Mass Effect 5. They will either have to hire people in Edmonton or bring people on at other EA locations. Yeah, that's why. I think COVID made EA more comfortable with people remote working, even though they don't like it. And so as a result, they are much more willing to loan people around than they were 5 or 6 years ago. Now, EA leadership doesn't want everyone back in the studios. They don't think it works this way, but I'm gonna probably stop in 5-10 minutes too, because I think we're done streaming for today. I need more footage than that, but I want to download and see how the stream is for footage, as opposed to since the recording borked itself at some point and I didn't notice. We'll see how it looks with me using the stream footage as a source. My favorite part of RPG video game development. Interesting. I think it's the moment when it starts to come together. BioWare's processes often involve a lot of parts that kind of don't look like anything, and then they start to click together, and you get some really rapid process there. You know, the team is at its fastest basically the day before you launch, which is one of the reasons why I really like DLCs, because you can kind of coast off that momentum for a bit and build a bunch of stuff really fast, because the team's used to the tools and is used to going fast and used to doing stuff. Actually, I'm going to move you people over here onto my teleprompter so I can see you better. Wait, can I pull this out? Yeah, let's do that. I'm glad to. No, that's tiny. Never mind. It's not. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll stream another. I'll do another one of these in a bit, in a couple of weeks probably, to get another couple hours. Oh yeah, to Pablo's question. Yeah, for sure. I mean, working with Frostbite as opposed to Unreal does limit your available talent pool. Absolutely. There's no question about that. I mean, you can't hire people that know how to use the engine. So so that's definitely going to have a huge impact. It's not as bad. The reality is if you respect Frostbite, it isn't the end of the world. I think Inquisition respected Frostbite, and Andromeda and Anthem didn't, and I think that it shows in the resulting projects to a large degree. So currently the Anthem Memories and Lessons, to Julia's question, is 3 hours and 20 minutes. I'm pretty much done, I think, with the talk track, so I just need to get footage and do all of the sort of post-production editing, but that's going to take a long time, because it's basically it's an n squared problem. Maybe it's an n log n problem. The longer a 10-minute video takes more than twice as long to make than a 5-minute video. So a 3 hour and 20-minute video it's very hard to work with, and just because you have to watch the parts of it, and it's just hard to maintain cohesion over that length of time. So it's still a ways out. Yeah, I don't want to become H Bomber guy with releasing one 4 hour long video every year and a half, but it's big, it's long. So hopefully everyone didn't get completely nauseated by watching me swing the camera around wildly in a first-person shooter or a third-person shooter. Yeah, I hope to have it out by the end of 2025. It's kind of occupying, it's kind of slowing me down in terms of making other videos, because I think it's this constant niggling distraction. So I do kind of need to get it done, so that I can increase my overall pace, I think. I wouldn't expect EA to reboot Anthem. If someone wanted to make something with it, I don't know that they would necessarily get in the way if they had a good pitch. But I don't think they're just gonna, they're not gonna push for it. It would take a team that wanted to do it badly enough to fight for it to happen. Okay, thank you everyone for joining me. I think we will call it there. And I will see you in a couple of weeks to get another couple of hours, assuming that this footage is usable. Thank you all. Goodbye.